Just last week, I celebrated 12 months on the carnivore diet. So that means for 12 months, I've pretty much eaten nothing but meat and eggs and salt and butter. That's been the sum total of my menu, with very few exceptions. That's what I've eaten. Over this last 12 months, I've had some amazing results. I've lost a significant amount of weight. I've turned around a long list of health conditions. I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. I feel better, I feel stronger, I feel fitter, and I'm so thankful for the carnivore diet. But I want to ask the question today, what was it that held me back 1 year ago? What was it that kept me where I was from moving forward to where I am now? And I've thought about this quite a bit, and I think there are 5 lies that held me captive, that had me in their grip. And when you believe a lie, you are under its power. It has you because you've believed a lie. That's why Jesus said once, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." I was believing 5 lies, and they are lies that I know a great many people believe today. They rule their life. So I wanted to, in this video, identify 5 of the biggest lies that I had believed for decades in my life that left me overweight, sick and tired. Lie number 1 was the message that fat will make you fat and it will clog your arteries. Boy, were we hammered with this all our years of growing up. You cannot eat fat. You've got to change your butter out for margarine. You've got to get rid of the fat and the lard and the ghee in cooking, and you've got to cook with seed oils and so-called vegetable oils. You've got to trim all the fat off your meat. You've got to eat a lot more carbs and a lot less protein. And we got this message hammered into us, and even today when you walk into a supermarket, that low-fat label that is everywhere, it's still everywhere because people are still believing this message and the lie is still being told. So for pretty much the first 68 years of my life, I followed that advice. I cut out the fat and I did everything I could to trim fat down. I told my wife, you can't buy butter anymore. We've got to buy margarine. We've got to buy canola oil and Cisco oil and all of this crap. We brought all of this in. And look, where did it leave me? Where did that lie take me? Well, it took me to being about 25 kilos overweight, which now I've lost all of that. I was left with a fatty liver. I was left being pre-diabetic, right on the verge of being called diabetic. I had insulin resistance. I just had so many health issues. I had no energy. I was lethargic. I was tired all the time. That's where the fat left me. That's where the non-fat message left me. The lie that I believed caught me in a trap. The truth is that fat will not make you fat. What makes you fat is the sugar and the carbs, and carbs are essentially sugar at the end of their process in your body. They are the real poison. You know, if you're eating a lot of sugar and carbs, then your body is going to burn sugar for energy. But once you start to cut those out and you're eating a lot more saturated fat and fresh meat in your diet, then your body is going to start to burn fat. It's a much more efficient fuel for your body. It puts you in a state called ketosis where you begin to lose weight without any effort at all, and things begin to change. Folks, get rid of the first and strongest lie of them all, that fat will make you fat and clog your arteries. It won't. Okay, lie number 2, and that is another big one, and that is that cholesterol is bad. Cholesterol is the villain. And so many doctors today are parroting this lie and telling you, oh, your cholesterol's up a little bit, increases your risk of a heart attack. I'm going to give you a tablet to get your cholesterol down. You've heard it 100 times over, and it is a lie. It is a blatant lie. Do you know how many people who die of a heart attack have high cholesterol? About 50% of them. Do you know how many people have low cholesterol, below the recommended level of cholesterol, who have a heart attack? About 50%. You see, 50% do, 50% don't. So that's the only evidence they've got. And it just doesn't add up, even to my mathematical brain. The bottom line is that your body makes cholesterol. This wonderful human body of ours actually makes cholesterol. Can you imagine the human body, even for a moment, making something that is bad for you, making something that's going to kill you and to give you a heart attack? It just doesn't make sense. Cholesterol was blamed as a result of the politics and the lobby groups. Nothing to do with food science and nothing to do with research. In fact, the research that was done in the 7-country study by the infamous Ansel Keys was all a deeply flawed study, and I've been into that topic on other occasions. Do you know where the real thrust of this lie is coming from today? It's coming from Big Pharma, because they've got a pill for cholesterol and it's called statins. Statins are the most widely prescribed drug in the world. It is the biggest selling drug in history. The statin market alone to the pharmaceutical companies is worth $25 billion a year, and it's growing exponentially every year. And do you know what they're doing now? The pharmaceutical companies do all of the studies on statins. And they are continually saying to the medical profession that the safe level for cholesterol is down lower and lower and lower, so that more and more and more people will take their drug. Can you believe that? Not only that, but now they're saying they want to give it to children. They're even saying they want to put it in the water. They want everybody on a statin. And this is a useless drug. It does absolutely nothing except it gives you a string of side effects. Yes, it will lower your cholesterol, but look, so will berberine. I recently took berberine, the supplement berberine, just for 3 months, and I dropped my LDL cholesterol from 9 all the way down to 4 in 3 months, not a statin in sight. And so you can lower your cholesterol without a statin. The doctors are wrong. You don't need a tablet. All you need is diet. But look, you don't need to lower it anyway, because it's not the problem. It's not the villain that they've told us it was. I recently had my cardiologist tell me that I should be on a statin because my LDL was a little bit high. I just said, no, thank you, not taking a statin. And he said, fair enough. But that's the lie they push, and it's a big lie out there, and we're doing all we can to change it. But there are more and more doctors, more and more research scientists, more and more university professors, highly qualified people that are coming out and challenging this fundamental lie. So things are beginning to change. That's lie number 2. So lie number 3, you hear this one all the time too, and that is that you need fiber in your diet. And that is one of the strongest reasons that many people present in their evidence against the carnivore diet, that you don't get any fiber. And true, I haven't had any fiber for 12 months because I've just been eating meat and eggs, and there's not much fiber in either of those. You see, they told us if we didn't have fiber, we'd have digestion issues. Can't even say it, can I? Digestive issues. Do you know how many digestive issues I've had in a year of no fiber? Pretty much 0. I mean, I had a little bit of constipation right back in my very first fortnight, but since then, perfect sailing ever since. Look, fiber is a waste product. Our bodies can't even digest it, and they need to get rid of it. It was popularised way back decades ago with Ansel Keys and Kellogg and some of his Seventh-day Adventist cronies who started pouring their dollars into making cereal, Kellogg's cornflakes and Cocoa Pops and all of these things, all brand, all of this junk that's in the supermarket fills up a whole row. And you know what they do? They put cartoon characters on the front and they advertise it to children. It is full of sugar, it is full of crap, it is full of fiber, and it is poison. It gets me wild that they're allowed to sell this to children. I mean, if they were marketing cigarettes to children, we would be up in arms. Why aren't we up in arms about this? It's just poison. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. Lie number 4 is another big lie, and that is the lie that goes like this: calories in must be less than calories out if you want to lose weight. You've got to eat less and you've got to move more. I grew up in the 70s when this guy was famous in Australia. His name was Norm, and the government ran this Life Be In It campaign. The campaign had nothing to do with diet, it was only to do with exercise. And it was making a passionate plea for people to get out and to start moving their body. Now, that in and of itself is not bad advice, but if you think if you're overweight and got health issues and you simply start walking and running and jogging and all of those things, that's going to help, think again. You see, you cannot run your way out of a bad diet. You don't run to lose weight. It's the other way around. You lose weight to run, and you'll do it a lot more easily with a lot more benefit. This calories in, calories out is deeply flawed. It assumes that calories in and calories out are totally independent of each other. They are not. They are intricately connected. So if you lower your calories in, then your body's going to lower your calories out, because it's like if your income suddenly got cut in half and you didn't lower your expenditure, you would be in trouble real quick. And if your body didn't lower its expenditure of calories, when you cut your calories down, your life would be in danger. And so your body cuts it down and budgets everything less. It just doesn't work. And look, I tell you what, you know it doesn't work because you've tried it. You've tried it not once, not twice. You've probably tried it a dozen or 20 times throughout your life. And it did work. Yes, I'll give you that. It did work for a few days, for as long as your willpower would hold out. But it will not outlast your willpower, and you always cave in and put the weight straight back on again. It's a deeply flawed system. Weight loss has got nothing to do with calories. It's a hormonal issue. And when you get onto a carnivore diet or even a decent low-carb diet, then you are in a place where you are no longer hungry, you're not fighting your hormones, and you are naturally losing weight because you're burning fat for fuel instead of sugar and carbs. And once you do that, you lose weight quickly and easily. And that's how I lost my weight without even noticing I was hungry. Look, if you're still confused about that, the best thing I can do is to tell you to read Jason Fung's book, The Obesity Code. Excellent, excellent book. Very entertaining to read, but very informative, and will blow calories in, calories out, eat less, move more. It'll blow it right out of the water and settle it in your mind once and for all. If you've all your life been trying to lose weight, read that book, get onto carnivore, get onto low carb, and see your life transformed. Okay, I've got one more lie, and this is lie number 5. And this is the lie that says if you eat meat, it will give you cancer. Now, I've got no idea where this lie came from, but I want to tell you, look, folks, it's just not true. It's another lie they've told us to keep us off meat, to keep us on the grains, to keep us eating sugar, all spurred along by the big pharma and big food and the sugar lobby and the cereal lobbies. I mean, you know, don't get sucked into this. It is safe to eat meat. It is the most nutritious food on the planet. Did you know a piece of red meat has every nutrient you need? There is no nutrient that you need that is not found in red meat. Meat is the most satiating food out there. You give me a bowl of vegetables and I might enjoy it, or I would have once. But after I finish eating it, you know what? I'm still hungry and I want even more, because it just feeds my addiction. But I tell you what, you give me a decent steak, an eye fillet steak or a ribeye or a decent lamb chop or some lamb roast, any of this red meat, the ruminant meats particularly, I feel so full and so satisfied. I'm right for the whole day. I'm energetic. I've got energy to burn. I am not the least bit hungry. I am satiated. I just feel fantastic. Meat is the fuel our body needs. And as soon as you get rid of this lie that you need sugar and carbs and vegetables and plant food to be healthy, the better. When you get rid of the carbs and rid of the sugar, you go low carb, and preferably, I would say, go carnivore onto a straight meat diet. You will never look back. You know, it really amuses me that the doctors are so often the ones telling us that red meat will give us cancer, and yet they are the first ones to admit themselves they had no training in nutrition. So my question is, where did they get this idea from that red meat gives you cancer? I mean, mankind has eaten red meat for literally tens of thousands of years. It just doesn't make sense, does it? Do you know where they got the idea from? They were taught it in college. They were taught lies. You see, all of these lies I'm giving you today, the doctors are taught. And they're still being taught the lies, and that's part of the problem. But I am an optimist, and I've just finished a 3-part series looking at doctors and the medical system. And I shared in that series that I am a supreme optimist. There are more and more doctors stepping out. There's more and more information out there. There's more and more conferences. There's more and more people setting themselves free from lifelong health problems and obesity and getting free because, as I said at the start of this video, the truth will set you free. So here I am 12 months in on my carnivore diet. I reflect back now on where I was a year ago. So many benefits. Lost 24 kilograms of weight. I reversed my fatty liver. I've totally reversed my pre-diabetes. I've reversed my insulin resistance. My blood sugar is down at 4.5, the lowest it's ever been. My cholesterol's where it should be, although as I've said, it's not really an issue. My inflammation is right down. It used to be sky high, the CRP. Look, every single blood marker I've got. I just had a blood test 3 weeks ago at the 12-month mark of carnivore. Every single blood marker on that paper has been dramatically improved in 12 months. I feel better, I feel fitter, I've got more mental clarity, I'm calmer, I'm more alert, I've got energy, I feel great, I'm never hungry, I'm satiated, I'm learning more, I'm helping other people. Look, I've got a whole new mission and a purpose in life. I will never go back. This is me now. This is me for the rest of my days. I'm going to be on this diet, and I'm going to be promoting this diet, and I'm going to set it as my mission to help as many people as I can to get started and to change their life, to change their senior years so that their senior years are not filled up with pills and doctor's appointments and treatments and hobbling around on walkers and walking frames. It can be so much better, and it will be different if you take responsibility for your health. So that's my message today. Look, thanks for watching today. If you missed that series of 3 videos that I just made on the medical system, I will leave a link for them at the end and you can follow them through there. Please join our Facebook group, the Carnivore Pensioner. I will see you on the next video, and until then, get rid of the lies, embrace the truth, change your life, and keep telling your story. Bye for now.